Knew you were waiting for me. rising sun.
Yeah. On the road to victory, yeah.
Come on!
On the road to victory, you gotta stand your ground.
UNC.
Don't back down.
On the road to victory, standing strong and we ain't backing down.
Yeah.
Cause we fed up of the school, let's dictate how we're running the island.
Oh, yeah.
This man come to mash up the country. Now the people have to push back. So it's time for us to stand firm and show them we ain't taking that.
So stand your ground. And if you're fed up of the crime, stand your ground. The food price is too high, stand your ground. And every 2 months pass, stand your ground. Don't only raising the gas, stand your ground.
All across the nation,
stand your ground.
It's only home invasion,
stand your ground. Now the light been raised, stand your ground. And on the guns in the place, stand your ground. So we don't back down, 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 stand your ground. This current administration, they don't care about the people.
No way.
Everything they do in this country, yeah, is to fulfill their ego.
These people raise the gas and they laughing, saying how we ain't riot yet.
It's time for we to stand firm and show them right now we upset. So stand your ground. And if you're fed up of the crime, stand your ground. The food price is too high, stand your ground. And every 2 months pass, stand your ground. Don't only raising the gas, stand your ground.
All across the nation,
stand your ground.
It's only home invasion,
stand your ground. Now the light been raised, stand your ground. And on the guns in the place, stand your ground. So we don't back down, 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 stand your ground.
Oh yeah. On the road to victory, yeah. On the road to victory, you gotta stand your ground. Don't back down.
So we don't back down, stand your ground. 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 House of the rising sun.
Yeah. On the road to victory, yeah.
Come on!
On the road to victory, you gotta stand your ground.
UNC.
Don't back
On
down.
the road to victory, standing strong and we ain't backing down.
Yeah.
Cause we fed up of the school, let's dictate how we're running the island.
Oh
This man
yeah.
come to mash up the country. Now the people have to push back. So it's time for us to stand firm and show them we ain't taking that.
So stand your ground. And if you're fed up of the crime, stand your ground. The food price is too high, stand your ground. And every 2 months pass, stand your ground. Don't only raising the gas, stand your ground.
All across the nation,
Stand your ground.
It's only home invasion,
Stand your ground. Now the light been raised, stand your ground. And on the guns in the place, stand your ground. So we don't back down, 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 stand your ground. This current administration, they don't care about the people.
No way.
Everything they do in this country, yeah, is to fulfill their ego.
These people raise the gas and they laughing, saying how we ain't riot yet.
It's time for we to stand firm and show them right now we upset. So stand your ground. And if you're fed up of the crime, stand your ground. The food price is too high, stand your ground. And every 2 months pass, stand your ground. Don't only raising the gas, stand your ground.
All across the nation, it's only home invasion,
Stand your ground. Now the light been raised, stand your ground. And on the guns in the place, stand your ground. So we don't back down, 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 stand your ground.
Oh yeah. On the road to victory, yeah. On the road to victory, you gotta stand your ground. Don't back down.
So we don't back down, stand your ground. So we don't back down, stand your ground. So we
night and good night to one and all to the Erin village. We are welcoming you to the United National Congress pot meeting in your community there this evening. Tonight we have a well-rounded, dynamic set of speakers that will bring to you the facts and the issues taking place in your community here tonight. First of all, we'd like to start with the national anthem. So we'd like everybody to stand as we now proceed to the national anthem.
Almighty God, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country. Amen.
Please have your seat. Again, we are here in your community, the United National Congress, to share some of our plans to indicate to the people that they have an option and we are the most viable option in taking your community forward. There's nothing new that the PNM could come and tell you. There's nothing new that could say to help convince you to vote for them. It is wrong to even consider such a fact right now. The people of the community know what's taking place. We know that there is crime taking place. We know the condition of the road. And the only solution for the Erin community is the United National Congress. Tonight, first of all, I'd like to introduce you to the chairman of the Siparia Regional Corporation, Mr. Dinesh Sankar Singh. He will come forward and give us a short message. Thank you.
A very pleasant good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members in the audience here, members who are at home listening, those on the radio. I am Dinesh Sankar Singh, Chairman of the Siparia Regional Corporation. I am indeed very happy to be here this afternoon to lend my support to a young lady who has offered herself to serve the people, to serve the people, and to serve the people. Young, vibrant, dynamic Miss Chinelle Roberts. But before I talk about Chinelle, you know I cannot begin a speech here without first of all talking about who? Victor Roberts. Victor Roberts is a gentleman who we went through the battlefields many, many years ago, and we have been fighting the common enemy. Victor Roberts is a champion of the people, and for the people. When people were afraid to stand up and stand against the atrocities of the PNM government, Victor Roberts was prepared to so do. He earned my respect many years ago. We have been in the battleground together, facing the PNM, facing our opponents, but challenging the rights of the people and fighting on their behalf. It is good to see when the seeds you have sown bears fruit. And Victor is the father of our winning candidate. Young and dynamic Miss Roberts is somebody who was born and raised in this area. Went to school right in Palo Seco. All her friends are from this area. Determined, hardworking, and committed. She epitomizes the qualities that her father placed in her. She epitomizes the quality that is reflected of our party, the United National Congress. She epitomizes the qualities of our very hardworking and dedicated leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Visesa. This afternoon, I am so pleased and proud to stand here to recommend to you, young Ms. Roberts, in her willingness to serve you, to do what is necessary to improve the quality of your life. Our party, the United National Congress, is committed to serving and improving the quality of your life. Our party is not involved in adversarial politics. We do not go and fight down people out there. We do not ill speak and bring malice. We speak the truth, speak it ever, and we cost it what it will. We tell you as it is, the truth, the bare truth, and the only truth. Her father is a champion, as I said, of the people, is always speaking the truth, highlighting all the deficiencies, highlighting the shortcomings. Remember, folks, you are tax-paying citizens. Before you get your little money in your hand, you have to pay taxes first. And this is what must be spent on you and for you to provide better goods, roads, services, clean your drains, cut the grass, remove the wild animals, do what is necessary to improve the quality of your life. I can tell you without fear of contradiction, this young lady, Ms. Chinelle Roberts, is a true champion of the people. Dedicated and committed, she will champion your rights and fight for you on your behalf. She will do all that is necessary, representing your children, representing your parents, representing your grandparents, because as I said before, she is a champion of the people. The United National Congress stands ready to continue working on your behalf. Friends, as I am the chairman of the Superior Regional Corporation, and I can tell you, you are lacking in representation right now as it is under the PNM. They do not care about you. They care about keeping themselves in office. They care about putting a big salary in their pocket. They care about just being able to go on television and radio and buy the production. Because they're in government. They have command of all the resources of the state. As I am quick to point out to people, we at the Superior Regional Corporation, we are determined to deliver all the goods and services that you need. However, we are totally dependent on funding from the government. We are not a revenue generating facility, totally dependent. So you have to have councillors, aldermen who are dedicated towards serving you and working on your behalf. Friends, you see some gray hairs on the head, but not that old, but I just want to remind you and will have you walk back a little bit with me to that, though a few years ago, 1995 to 2001. Do you remember that? Do you remember when we were in government? We worked for the people. We delivered the goods and services. We ensured that you could afford to maintain your children and send them to school. We improved education. We provided good drainage. We provided water, electricity. We did all that we could have done for you and on your behalf. We build back the mold and we continue as our quest in our return to government. And we start by electing a young, hardworking, committed young lady like the lovely Miss Roberts here this afternoon. On August the 14th, I ask you, come out, put your X next to the rising sun and vote for Miss Chinelle Roberts. Vote for prosperity. Vote for peace. Vote for development. Vote for good representation.
So it's time for us to stand firm and show them we ain't taking that. So
Let us save our country. We have our children and our grandchildren to come. Crime is out of control. For drainage, cleaning, I am disappointed in the quality of representation you have in this area now. They do nothing on your behalf, nothing for you. They do not advocate for you, they do not fight for you, they just advocate for themselves. This young lady, Miss Chinelle Roberts, is going to change that. And she is going to deliver the goods and services for you and on your behalf. As I keep saying, determined, committed, hardworking, young Miss Roberts will ensure that your lives are improved. The quality of living is improved. Your children will be better. Your parents and your grandparents will be better. All I can ask this afternoon, we gave Miss Roberts a chance, a working chance, a winning chance on August the 14th. Put her, send her to office, and then we'll demand that she deliver for you. And I can assure you, knowing this young lady, as we say, since she was small, as my friend would say, bacha, small, she is hardworking, committed and dedicated, and she will deliver the goods and services for you. We have to give her that chance and that opportunity. Once more, you know, us politicians, as long as we start talking, we like to hear ourselves talk. But I'm not going to bore you. I'm here this afternoon to ask you to appeal to you. Vote Ms. Roberts on August the 14th. Return the UNC to good governance and delivering for the people of the area. So come August 14th, put your X next to the rising sun and vote solidly for young, dynamic, distinguished Miss Chinelle Roberts. I thank you.
House of the rising sun.
On the road to victory.
Thank you, Chairman.
Come on!
On the road to victory.
That was a
You
very
gotta stand your
inspirational.
ground.
UNC.
Don't back
On
down.
the road to victory, standing strong,
Thank you
and we
again.
ain't backing down. But we fed up of the school, let's dictate how we're running the island.
this man come to mash up the country. Now the people have to push back. So it's time for us to stand firm and show them we ain't taking that. So
They talk about how starved they are for resources in the Superior Regional Corporation. How starved they are not only because of the victimization that deliberately take place by the PNM when it comes to funding to the Superior Regional Corporation. They are starved simply because of the PNM being unable to manage the resources that is allocated through the country to the people. When it comes to giving the small funding that takes place, when you watch places like Cedrus, Faizabad, different areas that is represented by the UNC, they manage the finances of the economy so much better. Even though they are not in central government, the people of Superior Regional Corporation, because they are managed by the United National Congress, there is still small development. We want to bring that. Chinelle Roberts wants to bring that to Erin so the proper development can take place in your community. I'd like to move on to introducing Mr. Jai Kishan Dukran. He was the former candidate for this area of Erin. He will come now and grace us with some information as it come along, that the experience that he had, and bring more enlightenment to the people, and encourage you all again to come out and vote for United National Congress in the upcoming local government election on August 14th. Thank you.
Stand your ground. And if you're fed up on the crime, stand your ground. The food price is too high, stand your ground. And every 2 months pass, stand your ground. They're only raising the gas, stand your ground.
All across the nation,
Stand your ground.
is only home invasion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon to all members of the head table, to the political leader who is listening away. Ladies and gentlemen of Erin, I come here tonight as a former candidate and an activist of the UNC. I have done some working with Chinelle through the communities, and I have done this area in 2019. And to my dismay, nothing has been done for the upliftment of Erin since 2019 to now. What have the councillor been doing for the past 4 years? Absolutely nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. This has made 10 years this person has sat in council and look at the condition of Erin right across the road. We number one problem. Pothole, pothole, pothole. Every side you turn. Pothole on your right, pothole on your left. This is a pothole country, and they seem to don't care. Nothing comes to Erin. Where is the management? You cannot find a councillor. You cannot meet her. These are the things we intend to change with Ms. Roberts. We have given her our support, and we have pledged to work with her as our councillor to make Erin better. Ladies and gentlemen, for ourselves and for the betterment of our families, we need to come out on August 14th and vote resoundingly. Vote resoundingly for Chinelle Roberts and for the United National Congress. This, my family, will change the landscape of how we do business and the ease of doing business within the corporation. Every time you approach the councillor to have things done in Erin, it's always a set of red tape. Problems to get approvals, and you have to be behind them and behind them. We are urging Chinelle when she gets there to remove these red tape and make the ease of doing business at the corporation and for members and citizens and the burgesses of Erin to be able to access some of the services that are available through the Superior Regional Corporation. We are assured with her from the hard work that she has been doing as an activist throughout the years that her representation and her love for people in the area is great, and she will carry it on throughout the community. So my message is simply here tonight, on August 14th, get up, get to the polling station, vote early. Come home, call the neighbor, call your family, call your friend, get them to the polling station. Get out in your numbers on August 14th and vote resoundingly for Chinelle Roberts and vote for a better community. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dukran. Again, some stories from the community. It's amazing. Anywhere you go and you have a casual conversation, everybody seems to complain. They complain about the road, they complain about the water condition, they complain about the services that they are given, the poor manner in which it's given to them. They complain about the, to be honest, no one knows who the councillor is in Erin district. When you ask who is your councillor, well, really, I don't know. After this lady just talked to Shiba, I'm not sure. All kind of different excuses you tend to hear. That has to change. And it can only change if you do it by voting for the United National Congress. In your community, what will you tell your kids when they ask why this is not being done? What are you going to say? As the parents and as the adults, we have the opportunity to vote, to make change, to make things better for the future generation, to make things better for the present individuals living in their community, to make things better for the older ones, to make things better for every single individual. So there's no excuse, because we have the power to vote. And we have to utilize that power to get rid of non-performers such as Arlene. We have to use that power for that. Do not take it for granted. It's your children's future. It's your community future. Everyone talks about how it used to be. Look at what it has come to. That has to change. And you have the opportunity on August 14. At this time, I'd like to bring to you with so much joy. Sometimes the words, I find it trouble to find the words when I want to describe the young lady. But when she starts to speak, everything will start to flow and you'll see what causing the difficulty. I'd like to introduce you to Ms. Chinelle Roberts, candidate for Erin under the United National Congress, to come and say a few words and encourage the people again. And you will see the type of dynamic woman that she is, the confident young woman that she is, coming to talk with you now. Thank you.
Everyone is crying out for
our brothers turn to crime, killing each other for a dime. While the oppressors say that turning to politics is the only way. We face real ghetto pain. We face real ghetto pressure. We face real ghetto pain. We face real ghetto pressure. One day the table will turn to all men out there. Beware for all barriers will burn. On and on we go, our heads we try to uphold. Our brothers turn to crime, killing each other for a dime. While the oppressors say that turning to politics is the only way. We face real ghetto pain. We face real ghetto pressure. We face real ghetto pain. We face real ghetto pressure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. All protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This evening, as I stand in the gap and have made myself available to be the voice of the voiceless, to bring a glimmer of hope to the hopeless, and to open the eyes of the politically blinded, I need you to examine yourself, scan your memory, and see if representation was ever your friend. See if representation was ever your colleague. See if representation was ever a part of our community. Erin, are you not fed up with the neglect, the suffering, and the misrepresentation that you have experienced since 1956 till now? So tonight, I want to tell you that there is hope for you. There is hope for the elderly. There is hope for the youths in this district. Because I am proposing to do my best with the help of the Almighty God and to do what is legally possible to ensure that some relief come to you, the people of the district of Erin. I have been a part of this district from birth, and I have first-hand experience of the neglect and the suffering and the pain that we have experienced. I have been through this district with my father, Victor Roberts, distributing hampers, assisting people when there is flooding, risking our lives to ensure that people reach to their destination safely when they are stranded in these situations.
Well said.
These situations which can be remedied. Of course, we cannot stop the rain from falling, but we can clean the river courses to minimize it. We can construct box drains to have a fast overflow of the buildup of water in our district. And I want to assure you, once elected as your councillor, these same box drain that needs to be constructed will be constructed by you, the people of Erin. I am proposing to you to have the necessary registration forms where I would bring to the community where you can sign up to be registered as small contractors and have the opportunity to tender for jobs within your district. Because by doing so, we will generate income. We will generate employment, something that we continue to lack. Training sessions and centers is another avenue of importance where we will set up courses such as preservatives where we can utilize the mangoes, the cherries, the plum, the pawpaws, and the list goes on at intervals where these seasons are available. So that will also generate revenue because there's a serious market for preservatives locally, regionally, and internationally. And additionally to that, I have one of the best roti makers standby to bring a roti making course to you, the people, where you will develop the skills and the arts to also generate revenue and provide for yourself and your family for services such as weddings, birthdays, christenings, etc. I know of some retired teachers and principals alongside some current ones who have volunteered in helping to set up homework centers within the district of Erin. I intend to ensure that you, the people, will have some sort of self-sufficiency. And for you young people, enhancing the ability of the youth in the sporting industry is also important. I intend to ensure that the recreation grounds are prepared and lit, where a round-the-clock football league, where you will be able to benefit from cash prizes. We can have a small goal competition, communities versus communities, villages versus villages, win ball cricket competition for both men and women. I am proposing to secure sponsors to do what is necessary from the local government standpoint to build our community and have our community safe. And for you fisher folks, small machinery crosses right here in Erin will assist with the maintenance of the boat engines and the outboard engines where you, the people, can continue to make a living by fishing. I am proposing to have the Erin beachfront cleanup and be brought to a standard where it will be attractive and become a revenue of tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a state-of-the-art fishing port right here in Erin. But because of a lack of maintenance, because of a lack of vision, and because of a lack of will, the people cannot benefit and we are left in a deplorable state. I am proposing to have a annual fisherman day in Erin, where we will have a lot of activities taking place, where we will invite other fisher folks to participate in our activities. Young people, you need to get on board, because I am a young person as yourself, and I am proposing for you to ensure that you are able to take care of your families, that you are able to ply your trade and generate income. So you won't have to jeopardize yourself or risk your lives. As your councillor, I am going to take the initiative to ensure that all your minor roads are repaired. I have walked the length and breadth of this district of Erin, and it is a shame to see the condition where people have to walk, where school children have to walk to and from school. I want to let you know that today we have a pitch right in Erin, the oil sand quarry. The government have a say over the said oil sand quarry. They should have only been able to fool you for only 3 years. But you have allowed them to fool you for 56 years. But you have an opportunity to change that now. We will send a different message. We will vote them out. So tonight, I want to tell you that I have seen your condition. I have heard your cries. I am saying to you that don't worry, better days are coming. I am coming. I am saying to you tonight, as I give my commitment, that you, the people of Erin, is going to benefit under the stewardship of Chinelle Roberts, as I intend to bring relief and to ensure that you are satisfied with the level of representation. So come on, come all, come on August the 14th, come out resoundingly and place your X by Chinelle Roberts, the candidate on behalf of the United National Congress, where you will benefit and prosperity will come to your family. I thank you and good night.
On and on we go. It we try to uphold. Our brothers turn to crime, killing each other for a dime. While the oppressor say that turning to politics is the only way. We face real ghetto pain. We face real ghetto pressure. We face real ghetto pain.
Where you going to put your vote? You see why I have trouble introducing her to this stage? She have a way with words, so when she speak, I can't even utter nothing. She convinced me. She have my vote. And I hear it in the crowd, she have all your vote too. Where you going? You sure she could stand up to anybody? Nobody could come and intimidate this woman. She is Victor Roberts' daughter, and you hear that she could stand on her own. That is the kind of representation you want. You don't want the type of representation that's telling you from Diego Martin where they're sitting in their comfortable seat. Hey, do that in Erin. That's not good enough. You have somebody in Erin and in your district coming to represent you. That is where the vote has to come. Anybody who choose not to vote for Chinelle Roberts is voting against their generations to come. Anybody who chooses to vote for the People National Movement, they have been given the opportunity, and look what they have done with it. Nobody is pleased. Nobody is pleased. And you know what they say? It's the mindset of the people. You have responsibility to train and manage the affairs of the people. Put policies in place to ensure that these people develop in the way that you want them as a nation. So if you are failing at that, then you are failing your nation. And what are you going to say? Only the fool will accept that statement when they say, it's the mindset of the people. You have the power and authority, the resources to change that. And people like Chinelle Roberts, who bring in themselves here as young people, the few that slip out of the cracks, that could come out and making a difference for your community. We have to put people like that to represent us. I've seen the police officers there. I just be wrong in Buenos Aires. We apprehended a man at a time. We call. You know what the police and them say? No fault of them. They have no transport in Buenos Aires here. We'll have to see if we could call around and see. Hours passed. They weren't able to send anybody. We had to let the man go. Because what? We'd go want to make jail. Kill him now. Somebody go up here with vehicle, helicopter, everything, you know. That's the reality. They are reactive. They are not proactive. We need to correct these things. We need to get the proper representation in all our communities at a local level and at a national level. So at every different level, let this local election be a stepping stone for the general election and send a message that we do not want the PNM. There's nothing new we can say. We are feeling it. It reached a point where we've gone beyond words. We are now feeling it. We are feeling it now. And we are going to correct this. At this point in time, I'd like to introduce you to the councillor. Come, Mr. Avery. They say you're dynamic, you're loud, you can make the crowd move. We want to hear you. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Avery. Thank you.
Standing strong and we ain't backing down. Cause we fed up of the school-less dictator, we're running the island.
This man come to mash up the country. Now the people have to push back. So it's time for us to stand firm and show them we ain't taking that.
So stand your ground. And if you're fed up of the crime, stand your ground. The food price is too high. Stand your ground.
Yes, people, good night, good night. Good night, the people of Erin. Well, you know I come in to talk the truth, right? I come in to talk the truth, right? Nice. I from Jacob Settlement, and to be honest, for the last 35 years of my life in Jacob Settlement and beyond of the area of Separate to Erin, I haven't seen a change. It have so much of things that the system could help everyone, the youths. You know, it have plenty youths like myself and younger have nothing. And I could say it again, they have nothing. Yeah, son, they have no way to focus, they have no guidance. The system has failed us. You know, there are plenty of us in crime. Because you know why? The community centers and them not working. The sporting facilities and them not working. The lay help that trade and thing, fail. But I believe in Chinelle could come out and change something for the youths and for the people of the district so that we could come better and we could see. Watch me. I tell Chinelle, I say, Chinelle girl, I really believe in you. Know? And it has so much of people believe in you also. So all we want is just on August for people to come out to the numbers and do the right thing. Yeah, son, because we need a change. Vote Chinelle. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, I'd like to introduce to you the councillor for Mondaisy, Mr. Derek Bowen, well known to all throughout Erin, to Faizabad, to Shogunas, to Port of Spain. Mr. Derek Bowen. Thank you.
Come to mash up the country. Now the people have to push back. So it's time for us to stand firm and show them we ain't taking that.
So stand your ground. And if you're fed up on the crime, stand your ground. The food price is too high, stand your ground. And every 2 months pass, stand your ground. The only raising the gas, stand your ground.
Good night, Erin. Let me say a pleasant good night to my political leader, Mrs. Kamal Prasad Bisesa, and members of the executive, and of course to my good friend and brother, Mr. Victor Roberts. Now I'm here tonight to give a bit of a testimony on behalf of a candidate who I believe is one of the best candidates that Erin has ever gotten. But the thing is that I'm not very good at writing speeches or making these candidates. I like to ask questions. Every time I come down here, I ask the same question to the people of this community. How much more will it take? Will you still want to take more? The gentleman spoke about the lack of development for years, 35 years he living there, and nothing has happened for him. So again, I'm asking these people, what do you have to lose by changing your vote? But apart from that, I always say to this community, especially the Library community, why the UNC voters don't come out and vote? What is stopping them from doing that? And let me tell you something. This is my message to this entire community, Paloseka area, this entire Library constituency. The members of the United National Congress, or the supporters, or the people that don't like the PNM. What's the problem? Why can't you take 10 minutes of your life and come out and vote when it's election time? But you know what? You will spend 3 years or 5 years, as the case may be, complaining. But you wouldn't take 10 minutes to go and make a difference. And that's the problem we have in this community. That is why you all have been neglected continuously. Because the PNM knows that you all don't want to vote. They have 20 supporters, then 20 going and vote. You know? We have 40, but 5 of you alone going and vote. And that's the reality of it. I want to make a claim or tell a little something here. You see, local government election, that's the hard blood of every election. Don't feel general election more important than local election, eh? Because let me tell you something. Not a single one of us in this community ever take all the garbage, put it in the trunk, and go in the body dump and put it away. None of them doing that. We just touch you in the morning. I pass through communities, they have 50 feet of land. They wouldn't even clean in front of that. You know why? They want the corporation to come and clean that. So we just do that for you too. You understand? You call one of these sewer companies, about $1,200 to clean a septic tank. We keeping it to $400 for you. We doing that for you too. That's all we doing for you, you know. Mosquito, call the MP now. You have rat in your place? Go and call the MP and here we go tell you. And if I ask anybody in this community, if they go by the MP office, whenever they do see me, because I have seen him, I think, once since he has been a member of parliament. But anyone will go by him, I sure, first thing he tell you is go and check your councillor. That's what they tell you. So why is it that one time for local government election, everybody assume that it's not important? But right after election, councillor phone can't stop ringing all over the night. And the same people who are going to vote on calling your phone whole night. So my appeal to this community, all you come out and vote. Because I am 100% certain that there are more UNC supporters in this constituency than there are PNM. I am pretty certain of that. But more than that, let me tell you what this election is about. You see who we have here today? Not much of us would be affected by that. But let me tell you who will be affected. You see your children, you see your grandchildren. This is what this election is about. Because let me tell you something. The hole that we are in right now is not an easy hole to come out. And they will be the ones that will pay the price if you let that hole go deeper. They are the ones who will pay that price. So let me tell you that. I made the comment in 2020 with the COVID. I was telling a buddy of mine, I said, let me tell you something. The effects of this lockdown and this COVID and this home or online school will hit us in the next 10 years. Because the children that pass through that phase is what we have lost in the system. Because the PNM choose not to give them a laptop when they came into government because it was not necessary as they claimed to be. So, how are you going to do online class without a laptop or a tablet? That'll be on the clothesline. So they have, as they always do, that you see, let me tell you, sir, the PNM like to keep their supporters, and excuse the word, they keep them dumb. So they wouldn't know what's going on. They wouldn't understand when they hear they come on the platform and tell everybody the GDP and the PAO and the all kind of fancy words. And they give, where the man went to the other, a PowerPoint presentation. So them suppose they go be put, way boy, we people, they keep us down so that they will always be on top of us. But let me tell you something. This is a different time here. Information is easily accessible to anybody. Anybody. You go online, you can find the truth. Fact, not fiction. And you all decide for yourself. Because when I tell you just when they done dig this hole, brother, it ain't gonna be an easy one to come out of. So again, asking the people of this community, make a good choice. I ain't want to use that tagline. Make a good choice. And change your life for your children's future. Because that's what we reach right now. Victor nearly getting pension just now. My chairman, he get pension next week. So we all, I go get pension next 20 years. I am a young fella. But our children will suffer if we do not make a change now. And you have nothing to lose. Because you ain't getting nothing. So we're going to lose. What exactly is it that you all are going to lose in this community if you all make a change? Because other communities in this Superior municipality, we doing a little thing, you know. I'll give you another fact. Superior Regional Corporation is one of the only corporation in this island that shares every cent equally. So, I tell her this. Your councillor come and tell everybody the UNC corporation give them money. That's a lie. If I get $1, Erin get $1, Paul get $1, Otaiti get, everybody get $1. So what you do, how you use $1 is what the question is here now. So everybody come and tell her they ain't gain and they ain't gain. What we get is very little, but we give everybody a piece of the pie. So that goes to show you, the people here, that they pick and choose who they want to help and treat with them. So all you want, proper representation. Where this young lady go on, boy? Why is she running from me? Chinelle, where you? Come. I met this young lady sometime, I think, 2020, with her father when the father was doing the run for the library seat. And she impressed me from then, and she continued to impress me now. So I'm asking you here in Erin, while you want representation, we put it here for you. We have brought this young lady here to represent you all. We ain't bring she here to Mambaga because all you know she father is a joke here. He don't mix matters. All you want to see change, all you want a difference, we have brought that for you all. It's up to you now to make the right choice and vote for the UNC. Vote for Chinelle Roberts, your candidate for Erin. I thank you.
On the road to victory, yeah.
Come on!
On the road to victory, you gotta stand your ground.
UNC.
Don't back down.
On the road to victory, standing strong and we ain't backing down. On the fed up of the school, let's dictate how we run in the island.
Oh yeah.
This man come to mash up the country. Now the people have to push back. So it's time for us.
Mr. Bowen, we emphasize the importance of the next generation. There's nothing that we need to look at the next generation in making our decisions. Without that, we will destroy our future. The next gentleman we're going to bring to close off the night is Mr. VR. I'm not going to say what VR means. Everybody knows what VR means. I'd like to give a round of applause as we bring him on. The man who have been championing and pioneering throughout the whole country, highlighting issues from left, right, center, middle, up, down. Mr. VR. Welcome him, Mr. Victor Roberts.
Slowly over the hills. Everywhere is cold and sunlight, but still most nights with hotels are crowded. There are days with dark clouds are shrouded. They don't smile and they never will. Only vultures get the fill. Empty promises is what they hear. No running water from year to year. No one desire that if there is a Messiah, someday he'd hear their whispered prayer. Covered always bare and scanty, 10 people in a one-bedroom shanty. Forced to sell on the pavement, no vacancy, no employment. Cattle fire cracker from gunshot, blood does go when things get hot. Afraid to look out the window. Your voices from the ghetto, crying, 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 Lord, Lord, crying, crying, voices from the ghetto, crying, 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 Lord, Lord, crying, voices from the ghetto. Help us, Father. Just hold it head and ball. And them woman stronger than a wall.
Honorable political leader,
a big push.
Members of the executive, chairman of the now Borough Corporation, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good night. First of all, I would like to call the candidate for the electoral district of Palo Seco as I introduce young Nicola Sylvester, who would be the next winning candidate for the District of Palo Seco, to say just a few words to you tonight.
A pleasant good night, the Honorable Political Leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisessa, the Executive Board, Chairman of the Sapara Borough Corporation, UNC family, Erin, good evening. I am Nicola Sylvester, the UNC candidate for the electoral district of Palo Seco. You know what's very disturbing for me is the 3 weeks that I have been campaigning is the same issues we keep having over and over, which is not being represented properly. The Burgesses, they have problems such as bad roads, no water, poor drainage, they want the river drench, and all these things. And I keep asking, where was the representation? They said they never saw her. They never saw her, so we voted for a ghost, right? We voted for a ghost. And yet still, every election term, we keep voting for ghosts. Because it's the same problem we keep having over and over again. It's like an abusive relationship. Honey, I gotta do better next time. And we're going back and vote the same thing over and over again. When will we change our mind? When will we change our mind for the right thing, to make a right stand for the right party? When? When we cripple and we can't move and we dead? That's when we will make the right choice? Come August 14th, place your vote where it matters and where we can bring proper representation for you. August 14th to the rising sun. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola Sylvester. That's the candidate, the firebrand for Palo Seco. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap tonight's proceedings up, I want to indulge your attention just for a little bit. And I want to start off based on some of the things that Chinelle said in relation to what she proposed to do in the electoral district of Erin. I want to ask, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we have a professional football team here in Erin. And I want to ask why it is that the team from Erin has to use a football ground outside of Erin as their home ground. And I can answer the question. That is just to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that representation is something that has been lacking for years within our district. We have seen from 1956 to now, the district of Erin remains in the bosom of the PNM. The party that you believe is your party, the party that you believe has the same color of your skin, the party that you believe has the same texture of your hair, the party that you believe is the black man party in this country. Well, I have news for you tonight. I want to let you know that if you should examine the history of your PNM party that you voted for all these years in Erin, you would understand without a shadow of a doubt that this party never had your interests at heart. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot tell me a constituency as Labre, which Erin's form part of, a constituency of Point 14, a constituency of Faizabad, which helped build the capital city of Trinidad and Tobago. These constituencies were the backbone. A matter of fact, the first oil well was drilled in Labre. And these constituencies had the economy of this country standing firm where we could have loaned other countries money. When we, the people who suffer within these surrounding constituencies for years, not even benefiting from the wealth that comes from under our soil. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am saying to you that when Petrotrin was in existence, you will realize that 7 in the morning, the traffic would be coming from Upper Road. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the traffic would have been leaving your district. And then you, the people, believe that this party is the party that you should support. I want to tell you tonight, what you has been supporting over the years is your own demise. I joined the United National Congress in 2019, just the other day. Every mature citizens who live here know that my parents, my grandparents, they all came out of the bosom of the PNM. A matter of fact, when I supported Stanley Ryan under the Basjo Pandey time, my father told me that I cannot support the UNC and live under his roof. That is as serious that it could get. But I took it upon myself in 2019 after I saw the policies that Kamla Prasad Bisesa-led UNC brought to Trinidad and Tobago, where every citizen of this country benefited in some way or the other. You benefited in education. You benefited if you were a single parent, a single mother. The aviation school was constructed. The nursing academy was constructed. The children hospital was constructed. The drilling academy was constructed. There was education, and more education. And the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, is that we were on the path to develop ourselves where our human resources would have been able to stand on its own. We usher in a prime minister in 2015 after serious allegations of corruption and after serious allegations with fake emails where Keith Christopher Rowley brought to the parliament and to the president stating that the prime minister and national security minister and others were planning to murder a journalist. And based on these allegations, the country stood up in 2015 and voted out the UNC out of office. Today, ladies and gentlemen, as we sit, we have more than enough evidence. We have not just allegation, but we have evidence. And today, the time has come that you must recognize that we must not support a minister as Foster Cummins, who stood up and cannot give full account for $4.4 million in a venture credit union. The police service of Trinidad and Tobago, the special branch, sent a report to the prime minister with the alleged conduct of Foster Cummins, alleging that Foster Cummins were involved with criminals. And what did your black man prime minister did? He stand up and tell this country that he support his ministers. We had allegation of a fake oil in this country. And as a result of that fake oil, in 2018, if those of you who just blah, 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 and blah, blah. You know, today I was on the radio station, on a PNM radio station. And out of that station, one caller called in. And he said that, you know, Petrotrin wasn't making money and the prime minister had to take a decision. Lies. Keith Rowley stood up. And I often call Keith Rowley one of the greatest liar of all times. I, Victor Roberts, call Keith Rowley one of the greatest liar of all time. Because Keith Rowley stood up and he tell you if you was closing your fridge door. And in case you didn't hear me, when the door was closing in, the government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down Petrotrain. That was the words of Rowley. But Rowley had no choice. Because after the auditors did their job in the fake oil scandal, and a man, the subject of investigation, who Rowley tell this country was his personal friend. And I know it was his personal friend, because while the investigation was going on, Keith Rowley was in another jurisdiction. And when the Mark boss, Keith Rowley tell this country that he took the phone and he called up A. Vigilin to find out what this fake oil scandal was about. But I want to tell you, Erin, that Keith Rowley had the Minister of Energy. Keith Rowley had the Petrotrain board that he appointed. Keith Rowley had the police commissioner. Keith Rowley had all the entities that he could have inquired what was going on with this scandal. But Keith Rowley saw it fit to take a phone and call his partner in the center of our investigation and then boast on the radio station. When the journalist asked Rowley, did you call Bash? Rowley said to this country, of course, that's my friend. And if you hear your friend in some kind of problem and you didn't call your friend to find out, what kind of friend would you be? You see, Keith Rowley need to understand that when there's investigation going on, it have no friend or no partner. There should not have been any interference whatsoever, whether by way of phone or otherwise. But you see, it is one law for the rich and another law for you. So you, the people of this country, you, the people of Erin, do not be fooled with this black man talk. Because all the black man talk that they're talking with you, if I ask you tonight, where is the black man supermarket? What you going to tell me? If I ask you where the black man pharmacy, where you going to send me? If I ask you where the black man contractor with 2 excavator, a low boy, a roller and a bobcat, who is sending me by Junior Sammy? So that is the games that they play with you. Every time an election call, Rowley stand up and he tell you, I am a proud black man. And that means that all black people who they consider to be black, because don't fool yourself, they consider you, the African people, to be the black man that Rowley does be talking about. So to the end of the day, you are just pawns. They utilize your vote every election. And after your vote has been casted, then to the end of the day, you go back to square one. You go back to beg. You go back to look for a hamper. You're vexing when hamper come and you ain't get one. When hamper go by the neighbor and you ain't get one, you feel somebody should dead. Listen. Listen. This candidate, Chinelle Roberts, Chinelle plan is not to have you to survive on hampers. Chinelle plan is to create opportunities where you will be able to give somebody a hamper. That is Chinelle plan. Chinelle plan is not to have you hustling by the side of the road and have the police running it down every Monday morning. Chinelle plan is to create and generate employment within the communities where you would be able to sustain yourself. Chinelle has accompanied me on several stationary drives, on several book drives. Chinelle accompanied, when you see me in the flood with the van, and we carrying people out of the water. The person who doing the video is Chinelle. When I go in and protest against the ills of you, the people, by those in authority, Chinelle is there also. Chinelle walk with me. Chinelle toil with me. Chinelle understand what it means when people doesn't have food. Chinelle understand what it means when people cannot put a roof on their head. Right in Erin, we had a couple house burned down. And it was Chinelle and I, who took material, 2x4 galvanized from Dan Steel, and take it down to Erin, that these same people could have a shelter over their head. And when we did that, we didn't care who was PNM or who was UNC, because what we learned to do is to understand when people are in need, it matters not what race you are or what political party you belong to. We understand that. We understand that community building must be with each and everyone involved. That is what we understand. So the dynamics of this whole campaign is to help you to understand that you are being used by the politicians under the umbrella of the PNM. Year go, year come. People has been complaining to me, Victor, we can't even get 10 days. And some of them who do get a 10 days, well, let me get the classic. A lady went to get 10 days the other day. I know what they say. You is one of Victor Roberts' people. You is one of Victor Roberts' people. I have a friend right here. I won't call his name. Went by the PNM office for hamper. And as he walked up the step, you know what they said to him? It have no hamper here for you. Go by Victor Roberts and get hamper. What they didn't know is that they already get by me. So you are right. I willfully send him to see the behavior. Because when we go to give hamper, we don't care what party card they have, you know.